This looks dangerous. Judging by the mana pouring out from the gate, it looks like a dungeon break will occur soon if the boss isn't dealt with. At this location, I fear it will cause massive damage to the airport. Then, we will report to the Hunters Association that there is no problem and afterlife. Creations are beings that were created to fulfill their creator's will. If the creator desired boredom, we held battles against each other. If our creator wished for anything, we fulfilled them by any means necessary, because that is the reason we, the creations, exist. But one day, our creator, God, spoke. One of our kin in another dimension was free. Take this and deliver ownership of the world without a master. Following God's orders, we gathered countless believers from our world and embarked on a crusade for the world without a master. However, an unimaginable amount of energy was required to transport numerous armies across dimensions. Moreover, the dimensional passage became narrower the further one had, so the army of God spent eons in it. Unyielding, the army eventually arrived at the world without a master. But there, they encountered darkness, the endless abyss of darkness. The darkness and every one of the beings in his legion possessed immense power. Still, that was not the only terrible aspect of the darkness. Was a soldier of God fallen while fighting against the darkness. The once comrade soldier of God became corrupted by the darkness and turned against us. As the battle continued and casualties increased, the power of the darkness only increased. The army of God was at a disadvantage, and the war of the world without a master had soon pushed us before darkness, as the army of God was at its breaking point, being unable to defeat the darkness. The envoy of God, TL, raised a suggestion. This is an opportunity. Just as I was unable to detect the darkness that had just entered this world, will not be able to easily return to his dimensions from within. I do not detect mana from the persons of a world without a master. So if we use the feeble beings, we can conquer it from within. Mist burning. The powers that were carried by the soldiers that were diminished, set ablaze by the holy fire. Though their powers were weak, their explosive nature made them critical to beings without mana. The army of God spread that they would be able to find sanctuary, and the barrier is eventually used in miracles. So, they wholeheartedly agreed to TL's brilliant strategist. TL immediately used his abilities and split himself into 5 pieces, and the weakest of those pieces took the mist burns and headed to the world without a master. Just as planned, the feeble fragment wasn't detected by the darkness, and it succeeded in infiltrating the world without a master. However, the first fragment encountered an unexpected variable. Lifelong, supposedly devoid of kana in the world, without a master has acquired kana. Afterwards, it came to realize that Kana was born in this world alongside an incident called the apocalypse. So, the first fragment decided to wait for the other fragments, and it successfully fused with the current fragment. To think such a convenient change would happen in the blink of our own hand. It must have been engineered by someone's design. There must not be any more disruptions to the plan. Humans. There is a need to understand the beings called hunters, those among them who possess kana, in order to accomplish my mission as a fragment of itself.
The magic beasts! It's a dungeon break! Hurry and contact the Hunters Association.
A non-ranking hunter should appear before the guild lands about of Nina, a first-class dungeon. If possible, I'd like to finish the skills of an E-rank hunter.
Why's there a dungeon break? Wasn't there a designated gate nearby? Are they the hunters that were in the area?
All of them are members of Star Hunter. Star Hunter, an amplifier created by Star Hunter. The miracle that magnified the path of their gifted abilities would usually not have any effect. But once their faith is magnified by their gifted ability to amplify...
You're a disturbance. Leave.
Yes, Apostle.
Creations exist for their creator. In other words, God. So, I believed that the sole reason for life to exist was to fulfill the will of God. But why do humans bear desire, a creation possessing the desires that only their creator may have? Could it be that these weak, feeble humans are higher beings than us.
A dungeon break, huh? What the hell is going on the moment I arrive?
I'll stop the magic beasts. Go hurry up and run.
A hunter with a black mask. Well, apparently the one who destroyed the hyenas was a hunter wearing a black mask. Could he be the saboteur that Lee Min-sung mentioned?